Sting is going to do. It's a video, Sting video.
What is
for credits?
I don't know what that means. To play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a. I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
I don't know if Dusty has sound of the president to capture some of what he's been saying about Ukraine, but I literally, this isn't TV feigned confusion. I don't know what he's trying to do here.
All right, I do.
He has called Zelensky a dictator.
Right.
And
Right, so we're getting back to our current headlines, and so this is what's going on. We had a little fun. Let's get right into it. Let's just listen to them, break it down, because Bill O'Reilly says he understands Trump's mind by calling Zelensky a dictator. So let's see what Bill has to say about that, and then we'll go from there.
Kind of suggested he started the war and that Russia fought hard for the land that they took from Ukraine, so they should get to keep it.
It's not quite that way. So what Trump wants to do, and I said this even before he was elected, is he wants a ceasefire above all. He knows that he has to flatter Putin to get that ceasefire. That's where you start. He has to flatter Putin. Putin is evil. On the cover of my upcoming book, Confronting Evil, there's bad blood right next to the Ayatollah Khomeini and Mao Zedong, and Hitler's on the other side. Vlad is evil, but Trump wants a deal with the evil merchant. So he has to do two things: butter him up, which he's doing, and tell the world that Zelensky's not so hot, and that Ukraine could have stopped this before it started. You remember Trump going, if I were president, the war never would have started, right? How many times did he say that? 100,000 times? It's true.
100 times.
Okay,
What's
because
true?
Trump would have forced Zelensky to give some concessions. Here's a story that hasn't been, he would have, believe me, because without the United States' $300 billion, Zelensky can't wage war. Anyway, this story has not been reported widely, but Putin just gave a massive concession to Ukraine. Putin says, I don't care whether they go into the EU. They can join the EU.
Just not NATO.
Right. But the EU is everything to Ukraine. If you want to rebuild it, you have to be in the EU. Currency, trade, open borders, everything. Putin gave that up. He didn't give it up to Biden. He gave it up. So you've got to, again, pull back and see the big picture. Trump is going to flatter little rocket man. He's going to flatter anybody. And then when they finally get the deal, who's going to be the greatest guy in the world? Zelensky.
All right. So we just listened to Bill O'Reilly gaslight the ish out of everybody in the audience. Chris Cuomo, even Stephen A. Smith that's sitting there just acting like he's watching television because they told him, we don't really need your take on this one. Let Bill take it away. Like I said, I like Bill O'Reilly. I do have a soft spot for him, but I'm not going to sit here and lie for Bill O'Reilly. Now, by the way, guys, I'm not sure if I said it already. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and the notification bell. Bill O'Reilly, what he just did here, he's gas. Okay, all right, let me get over this. This is the problem. This is what made me go start watching news from the so-called left-wing media, because I was like, something's not adding up. One day, and I'm actually documented, when Russia invaded Ukraine, supposedly that's what we're calling it, I was documenting that at 1 o'clock in the morning. I went live on my other channel, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. All these wars. I did the whole, Trump was president, the whole bit, right? But I noticed that all right-wingers were telling me that Putin was evil. And if you guys don't know who I am yet, and not that you need to know, and I'm not going to make this long drawn out thing. When you tell me somebody's evil, I need you to have the reason why that person is evil, not just the pictures. So I'm like, oh my God, he must have killed kids. He must have, he must have lobbed bombs on children all day long or whatever. And I couldn't find these kind of stories. To call somebody evil is pretty big. And they put him in a line with of course, their most favorite, of course, Hitler. Like, oh, So, anywho. And then I said, this isn't adding up. How did we know for sure? Because we knew for sure that Russia was going to invade. I said, we have something to do with this. And you know why I think like that? Because of weapons of mass destruction. Now, anyway, went back, did my checks, went to start watching stuff like Jackson Hinkle, the Duran, the Gray Zone, and countless other publications. That were saying that. Then I learned about the Maidan coup. I learned about how we've been involved in all of that stuff that happened in Ukraine, how we were not supposed to expand to Russia's borders. We did. And then people say, no, that's not true because of some loophole, something. Like, don't argue semantics with me, okay? Then, yeah, Zelensky had a chance to make peace with Russia in April. I think it was like April 2022. And Boris Johnson ran over there to Zelensky, was like, no, don't make peace with Russia. We're going to put you in NATO. Okay? Like, miss me with it. Okay? Seriously. Like, so, and this is what he's doing. He's saying, like, oh, just Putin bad and just decided to invade. No, we were involved with that. Okay?
And see the big picture. Trump is going to flatter little rocket man. He's going to flatter anybody.
That's one way to look at it. Here's the other, Bill O'Reilly. We know Putin's reputation to the rest of the world, particularly here in the United States of America. Former KGB, obviously has been accused of doing some very, very dastardly and treacherous things that we don't need.
Such as what? Yo, they like, y'all be about to make me think these people are angels because y'all never can give me the event that they did that took place. Yo, man, Americans are, like, our government, we are tagged with events. Muammar Gaddafi, okay? Weapons of mass destruction that sent us to Iraq to kill civil. Okay, we don't even need to do this, all right? So he was in the KGB. Well, wasn't that their army? Like, what the hell? That's like saying that somebody here was in the CIA. He couldn't be in the KGB. What the heck?
To belabor getting into. Not only has he done that, but it's obviously, it's considered.
As he's done that you have to pay attention to the words, y'all. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting this off. You must pay attention to the words. When they say not only that he's done that, you will think like, oh, he did that. What's that? We don't need to get into it, but he did that.
An enemy of the United States to some degree. Trump praises the very, very dude that most Americans have been sold on being a very evil individual who's committed to doing things that are not in the best interest of to expand Russian territory, one would surmise, along with various other things. There's no question about it.
Why is Trump praising Putin? Why
is Trump? Well, again, he wants to put an end to the war. That's true, and he wants to look like the hero in order to do so. But he wants the deal. But in the process. But wait a minute, Bill. You've got a guy in Zelensky who America, for the most part, not just Democrats, but Republicans to some degree have supported when it came to Zelensky and getting that $300+ billion, okay? And because that's been a reality that they've been willing to accept, all of a sudden Trump arrives in office, and now he's basically indicated the money's going to dry up. We're not interested in supporting you at all in any way. That's a different...
If Putin doesn't make a deal... If Putin doesn't make a deal, Trump will be his worst enemy. But this is how Trump rolls.
No, he won't. No, he won't.
Yeah, everybody thinks there's this bromance, or whatever they call it.
He has never said a bad word about the guy.
He doesn't care about him. He just wants it to calm down. That's it. You think he's got emotion invested in Putin? That's the last thing on his mind.
Unfortunately, though, because I don't have time for this childish argument with men, a bunch of grown men on here, not getting to the crux of the issue. I'm not going to like what I'm going to say next. Trump does not have a problem with Putin, but the people surrounding him do. Right now, what you're looking at is a freeze of the Ukraine war. They will come back for Russia. You better believe it, okay? But if as sure as I'm born, I'm telling you, they will go back for Russia. I'm not saying in a year. I'm not saying tomorrow. I don't know when, but they will. Russia will never leave that list, okay? But they have other plans now. They have to prepare for Iran and China, okay? So with that being said, saying this thing like, no, but he's just trying to butter him up for the deal. That's not what Trump wants. Trump wants this, and Trump, it's not about Trump. Hello, sorry. They hate to break it to you. It's not. When Trump was here in the first term, when he was at least a little different, right? He's got so much pushback from the Pentagon. The Pentagon straight didn't listen to him a lot of times, okay? That's nothing towards him. It just goes to show you how jacked up this whole thing is, right? When it was, and I'm not going to do that, but it was to removing our troops from Syria. They lied to him about, officials in the Pentagon lied to him about how many troops were in there so that they wouldn't have to remove that many troops, okay? So they do what they want, all right? And the people in the Pentagon, they want Russia. They're just putting it on the back burner right now because they got a lot to get done with this administration. This is a neocon administration. It may not be a neocon president, but it's a neocon administration, okay? Coming back to the point, again, y'all got to stop telling me that Putin evil, he's a bad guy, all this. I don't care about all that. I don't hear nobody really that lives in Russia like on Twitter saying, I don't know. I'm just saying. But that's not for me to care about. You guys always, anybody you call evil, I really don't think they are evil. They called Muammar Gaddafi evil before they came and made sure there was a revolution to get rid of him, and then came the Libyan slave trade. I could go on forever, okay? And this is what's happening again. So miss me with these like childish arguments about Trump wants peace. Stop praising Donald Trump. Yes, I know that feeling, man. I've seen him live twice. It does something to you. You feel like America's back. You can't have America back the way you want to have America back without removing the problem that is in our government, the shadow government, the whatever that is, the tech bros, the Zionism, all of it. If you still have that there, it doesn't matter who's president because they will railroad that person to get what they want, okay? You better wake up to that quickly. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.